If you don't have a buy now factor at the end, and you just keep asking for the order, or you don't ask for it more than once, you're going to miss a lot of accounts. Okay, they're not just going to sign up because you talk to them about your program. Oh man, this program's awesome. This coach is awesome. They're not going to sign up. They need to be told what to do. They need to be led into the next step. As crazy as that sounds. Okay.
I heard the term coach them on the decision.
Yeah, you got to coach them on it. So here, let me explain how I learned it. I used to work in restaurants, when I was young, 14 years old. One of the first jobs I had, and those tables at the restaurant were very, very, valuable when it was busy. Okay, and people like to sit there before they ate and have coffee and talk, and not. They couldn't make up their mind in the menu like they had in front of them, and the waitress would go by and say, "Hey, have you guys decided? Oh no, we need some more time. We need more time." And in the meantime, in the lobby, people are walking out and leaving. They don't want to wait 45 minutes, an hour to eat. Okay, so we were taught then was to walk up and ask them, if they're ready, and they say, no, and then lean over and look at them and say, "Hey, the roast beef is phenomenal today, right? Whatever we're offering, really, yeah, I'll have the roast beef, right?" And we would help them make up their mind.
Yeah.
Okay, and so in closing, it's similar to that, right? Look, this is the best time to get involved in this program, right? Once again, this is the best time to get involved in the program, but all I really need is some basic information. How do you spell your last name? And they're like, "Man, I'm on the fence. I want to do it." And like, Wilson, right? W-I-L, and they've decided to move forward. Okay, does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay, but you need to practice your guys' presentation, asking the right questions, and especially the assumption on the close, to where it just feels smooth, natural, the right thing, and there's not a nervousness at all. You just ask them the questions. So Ryan, listen, it's real simple to get enrolled in the program. I just need some basic information. How do you spell your last name? Okay, great. And what card do you want to use? We take Visa and PayPal. Which one's better for you? Visa? And if they ain't said nothing, just say, "What's your Visa number? Can you grab that for me real quick?" And you just keep asking them moving forward. And they'll say, "Oh, yeah, Visa, but now let me ask you this: do I have to pay for it all up front, or what's the payment structure again?" "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I thought I explained that." So it's real simple, right? It's real simple. Okay, it's $350 every 2 weeks, or you can do the full $1,500 a month. Most people prefer the every 2 weeks. Which one makes more sense for you? Which one's better for you? 2 weeks? If they don't decide, just say, "Listen, we'll go ahead and start with 2 weeks, right? And if you want to change it later, I'll go ahead and do that for you." What was your card? Which card was that again?
Wow, you're impressive.
That's how you want to be, okay? And that's how you will be. Marlene, you need to get this up on the recording for Ryan to look at and listen to. Melissa, too. Hopefully, Melissa, this is helping you. I know it may not be exactly your product, but hopefully you're getting something out of this.
It is, for sure. Thank you so much.
So what I encourage you guys to do is record your presentation and listen to your close, right? See if it sounds simple and smooth. Would you mind closing me real quick, Melissa, like enrolling me in your program, like at the end? And I can hear it real quick for you before we close out?
Yeah, sure. Let me get my screen. Honestly, as I learned through this today, I realize I'm not closing them at all, but I'll tell you the best that I've got at the moment.
And perfect. Listen, I'm so glad that you just said that, okay? Because here's the thing. You just realized a huge area of improvement, right? I'm not closing them. Now, that breakthrough right there is going to set you free. It's a game changer for you. Now we just need to get your closing to where it flows very smoothly, and you're like very comfortable at it, and you get your 80%. It'll happen for you. So let me hear how you enroll me or close me. Just that, imagine we've already gone through the whole prezo, and you're at the end, and it's time. Let's hear it, and let's see if I can't help you just a little bit with it.
Okay. I'm just like so floored. I'm having a little bit of a hard time converting because I'm so floored that I've been missing this entire part. And this is why everything turns into a follow-up for me. But I think what I would say is we've gone through, I understand the challenge that you're trying to overcome, and I know for sure that I can help you. And we've talked through all of the questions that you might have. Is there anything else you could think that would get in the way of us working together?
Okay, now can I ask you why you asked that question?
Well, I have it on a script that I've been working on from somewhere I got it.
Okay, so my only concern with that question is, let's say they're excited, they want to move forward, they're like, man, this sounds great, and then you give them something to think about.
Yeah.
Look, the last thing you want them to do is think about it, in my opinion. Your presentation should be designed to, that's what they're thinking about, is the benefits, right? There's going to be objections. Why get them to think of one?
Great point.
So we got to be very careful of how we say things. We want to understand these things. Look, you're not being deceptive, but don't put your own foot in your mouth, right?
Right. I see that I'm giving my power to them at the end.
Yes, and it sucks, right? It feels horrible. Yeah.
It does.
Okay,
It does now.
let's stand in your power. Stand in your value.
Okay, so at this point, what I would say is, it sounds like this is a fit. I know what I've described to you totally makes sense to you. All I need is some basic information from you to get set up with coaching.
Is that where you're stopping right there?
Yeah.
Okay, let me do it on you, and you tell me what happens. Ryan,
Okay.
Ryan, pay attention to this. Okay. So Melissa, I know this totally makes sense to you, and you totally see the value in the program. All I need is some basic information from you to get you in the program. What's wrong? What's wrong with that?
There's no ending to the sentence.
Right. You just gave them power again. You just gave them the ball back. Right. If you were in a basketball match, you handed them the basketball back and says, "Okay, I'm getting ready to take the shot now. Here, hold it, and let me know if it's okay to take the shot." They're going to grab the ball and run.
Right.
So you got to finish it. So how do you finish it?
How do I spell your last name again?
Right. There it is. And you assume the sale.
Assume the sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sounded really good up to that point in time. Let's hear the whole thing run, okay?
Okay. It sounds like this is a fit. I know it totally makes sense to you. All I need is some basic information to get you set up with coaching. Tell me how to spell your last name again.
Okay, Wilson. Now I'm gonna tweak one thing there for you.
Okay.
Okay, remember, they're not buying your coaching. What are they buying?
The result.
Yes. So switch that word out with your vision, right? With whatever they're getting, whatever you discover that they want. I want to double my income. So I know this totally makes sense to you, and I know you see the value, and I forget how you worded it, right? So I know you see the value in the program to help you reach your vision and double your income this year. Look, it's real simple. I just need some basic information. How do you spell your last name, right? And shut up after that. That's where you don't. If you talk after that, if you don't. They say the only pressure you can use in sales is the pressure of silence. Okay? Just after you've asked for the last name, just be quiet and wait for them to give it to you. And one or two things are going to happen. They're either going to give it to you. That means they went ahead and moved forward. They may have a few questions like, well, do I have to pay for it all now? Or, I'm sure I can't wait till tomorrow and get the same offer. You say, you know what, I'd love to, but unfortunately, it wouldn't be fair to my other clients. Right? So look, how do you spell your last name again? So one or two things are going to happen when you ask for the last name. They're either going to give it to you, they're going to pause a minute, think about it, and they're going to say, I got to think about it, or I'm not sure, I got to talk to my spouse, or I got to talk to my business partner. That's all BS, okay? That's all BS. Can I think about it? You don't want to get upset. You just want to say, you know what, Melissa? Obviously, you can think about it as long as you want, right? I mean, it's your outcome. It's your money. It's your outcome. I'm just trying to help you get there. If now's not the right time, I totally respect that. Unfortunately, if you want to get the discount or the added bonus, it's a today deal. That's just the way I've structured my program to help people go ahead and move forward. Does that make sense? And if they say, yeah, that's fine, I don't care. I don't care if I lose the $1,000 bonus or whatever. Then you probably missed something in your presentation. You want to go back through and think in your mind, what did I blow? How did I miss it? And then you want to learn and grow from it. Never miss that thing again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, close me again.
Okay. It sounds like this is a fit. I know it totally makes sense to you, and you see the value in the program to land your dream job. All I need is some basic information to get you started. Tell me how to spell your last name again.
Man, that sounds awesome. How does that feel?
Yay.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
It feels better than I didn't realize until I talked to you what I was doing wrong, which is a big problem. But I have to be honest, it feels kind of bad because I feel like it's very transactional. Like, tell me your name, how to spell your name. I don't know. It just feels like
okay.
I'm taking
what could you ask to make it feel a little better?
Could I ask them, like, what's the best day to set up would you rather have Monday or Tuesday for our call? Or is that too far down the process?
Well, is that okay? But does that close me? No, that's probably not bad. We sold a lot of alarm systems by asking. So it's real simple. All we got to figure out is when someone's home to have it installed. Mornings or afternoons? Which one's better for you guys?
Yeah.
Right, and then pick. And then we say, great, okay, so how do you spell your last name?
Yeah, okay. If you think it's okay to do it that way, that feels better to me.
I want you to experiment with it, right? And I want you to notice what's working or not. But I want you to feel good about it and stand in your value and know that if you don't get them to go ahead and move forward today, you haven't helped them.
Right.
You may have given them some ideas, but they need accountability.
Yeah.
They need consistent support to follow through and get that outcome like a child does. They need that coach.
Yeah.
So once you get this mastered, right, which you're not far from it, you want to own this. So what you want to do is role play and practice this, Melissa, and as well, Ryan, to where it just comes. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to read it. It's just a natural reaction when it's time for the bringing it in for landing, right?
Okay. Thank you so much. This was incredibly helpful.
Yes, you're welcome.